The Clone Trooper army is transitioning from Clone Trooper armor into Stormtrooper armor, with their Phase 3 Clone Trooper armor only being deployed for one special occasion: executing Order 66 on renegade Jedi. In this case, a Jedi has been discovered, but this time with a small army inside the city of Jabiim. Rahm Kota and his militia have discovered the presence of Kyle Katarn, another Jedi Knight who, at this point in time, is doing all it takes to survive. Kota's militia was ready to organize an evacuation of the city, when all of a sudden, Phase 3 clone troopers appeared to execute Order 66 on Kyle Katarn and Rahm Kota. Now let's get into it. Alrighty then, let's go ahead and press start right here in slow-mo for the beginning, because this is going to be a very brutal battle with a lot of laser fire and a lot of entities on said battlefield, as there are thousands of clone troopers and thousands of Rahm Kota militia troopers on this field. Now, these are, I guess, technically clone troopers still, but they're transitioning into stormtroopers. But then once they become stormtroopers, half of those people will still be clones, and then the other half will be recruits that will be non-clones, and so it all becomes muddled and very, very confusing in Star Wars lore, and explaining that to more sort of average or non-Star Wars fans can be annoying. I'm sure you guys have dealt with that in the past, but these should all be clone troopers in Phase 3 clone trooper armor, which is the transition over to stormtrooper armor. We have an ATTE alongside them here, and those beam turrets on it are going to be devastating, but that's not the only thing that'll be devastating. They also have some of these LAAT gunships out this way at the dockyard side of things, and these puppies are real rough to deal with. They are only stationary in this mod, sadly. However, they clearly can get some good shots off at the enemies for the time being. We've also got rockets hitting some of these little bridges in the docks over here, where we have a number of stormtroopers down below firing away. These guys are going to be in some tough choke points to start off with, but we do have a few troops who were dropped off on the beach here who might be able to swing off to the right. They're already being very destructive to Kota's militia over here, taking out a number of them behind some of those crates over that way. We also have another position for the stormtroopers. What's up, gamers? I'm here to tell you about Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming is an amazing place where you can get some fire deals on all sorts of video games. Seriously, it's like 60 to 95% off, as you can see here. These are all of the Star Wars titles they have. They literally have every Star Wars title. You can also get XCOM here, Men of War Assault Squad 2. All of the games I play on the channel you can buy here for extremely cheap prices. If you use my affiliate link in the description, it helps me out a ton. So thank you guys for listening to this sponsorship, and thank you to Instant Gaming for continuing to sponsor the channel. That would be these fellas over here near the Sarlac pit. And yes, there's a Sarlac pit in Jabiim, and I don't know where Sarlac pits actually originated in the Star Wars universe. Obviously, they're on Tatooine, but did they start at Jabiim or Tatooine? Or, you know, did someone bring a Tatooine egg of a Sarlac, if they come in eggs, over to Jabiim and then just decided, like, hey, let's set this up and terrorize the locals? I have no idea, but that thing actually does work, and if a stormtrooper or a Kota's militia trooper ends up stepping on it, they basically instantly vaporize in the game. There's no animation with the tentacles or anything like that, but it is deadly and it will kill them. Either way, it is full-on chaos on this side of things. This is the southern part of the city over here. We do actually have Kyle Katarn as well as Rahm Kota, who is taking a little swim. He's taking a little dip in the pool right there on this front of the battlefield. There's also a lot of free-roaming Kota's militia troopers throughout the battlefield as well, so you know, maybe they will come around with the Jedi and assist them throughout here. They are on retreat mode though, so if things start going poorly, they might retreat backwards just so that they stay alive. They have a little bit more of self-preservation in mind for for this battlefield. But right now, they've got good, decent cover fire coming in from Kota's militia over here, and there's also some around these sort of like Tusken Raider tents over here. I don't know if that's exactly what they are, but some sort of tent encampment over here. We've got a few troopers who are getting some kills as well, so things are going to be rough over here for the stormtroopers, to say the very least, and it's going to be especially rough for Kota's troopers over here with the ATTE, I think. We've got massive blockades of Kota's militia throughout here, though, so they are definitely going to have some serious firepower for themselves. This is a full-scale Order 66 invasion. Heading back to the dockyards over this way, we can see that the lats are not really firing as much anymore. They might just be like a little too far away. Their troopers down below, though, are getting close to the actual mainland over there. We got grenades going out. Oh, that's all the way back there. Okay, that's a little bit of a confusing perspective right there. Oh, and we've also got troops on that side over here clearing their dockyard very quickly and pushing into Kota's militia over this way. So there's multiple fronts over here that it's going to make frustrating progress for Kota. I think they're going to have a really tough time getting a ton of kills, although a bunch of 65th Coruscant Guard troopers are coming through over this way. Now, there are a few different 65th... Oh, we just crashed. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're back. Everything is the exact same as it was, just had to go ahead and relaunch there. Ever since I updated my computers from Windows 10 to Windows 11, it has been an absolute disaster. I feel like my games are lagging more, rendering videos is taking like 3 times longer. Everything about my computer has become worse since I started using Windows 11, and it is absolutely atrocious. Is anyone else experiencing that? I think this crash could be related to that, because we haven't had many Star Wars Galaxy of War mod crashes recently. I don't know. It is a pretty intense map, though. It was created by Darth Bacon, one of the most legendary map creators. Oop, these accidentally spawned in the water. Whoopsie. That's a problem. All right, we'll lift these up real quick. That's what happens when you reload the game. My bad. But yeah, this map was created by Darth Bacon, one of the most legendary map creators in Star Wars Galaxy at War, and he has been releasing some very, very cool maps as of late. He took a break for a while there, I'm pretty sure, but he is definitely back on the horse now, back on the wagon, and creating some peak for us. Absolute peak, that is for sure. Either way, since we've already seen the beginning opening stages of this battle, why don't we go ahead and time-lapse it a little bit here and hope that there's not another crash. Alright, sorry about that, boys. We are back now with pretty much exactly where we were before. The shock troopers are coming up this way on the flank, opening up new alleyways for Kota's militia to go ahead and get some shots off. Some of the longer range guns like this T-21 taking some beefy shots at some of the enemies out that way, while others over here continue to distract the main force over this way. So they are doing a nice job of slowing down a lot of these shock troopers out here. I don't know how many they're really successfully killing, as I don't see too many bodies on the battlefield for these guys. Just a few here and there. I think the LAATs and their supportive cover fire are being really, really devastating to these guys. So not the strongest front for Kota's militia, except for over here. They've done a bang-up job, might I say so myself. However, you know, this is still slowing down these guys from coming in and assisting over here, where we do have a breakthrough going on. Most of these early trenches are dead now for Kota's militia, which is quite surprising. A few of them do still stand tall and are pouring out fire against some of these incoming shock troopers across the way. The ATTE has lost its top gunner right there, which is its most powerful weapon. However, you know, it can still use its ball turrets, which are also extremely powerful, but Kota's militia does still have plenty of rocket troopers, and I don't think that thing's going to be able to cross any of these bridges. It's probably too slim for it, so I'm not sure if it will be effective as a whole. Kota is out here. Bro, what are you doing? That's a Sarlac pit. He's got hero health, though, so I think that's helping him actually stay alive out here. Kala Katarn is also out this way, deflecting incoming laser shots. Dude, the Sarlac pit literally can kill anything, but apparently not Jedi. Alright, well then. Feast. Feast! Come on, we want to see some death, baby! Well, I don't think it's going to happen here for Rahm Kota, as he is just making it look easy. But you can also see where some of his troopers over here, all that's left are heads, and that's because the bodies actually pop when they go into the Sarlac pit to imitate it kind of like consuming them and then spitting out the helmet. So I don't know why he's not dying exactly, but maybe it's because he has hero health or something like that, or Jedi are just resilient to the Sarlac. I don't know what's going on with that, but even still, he's out here distracting a lot of the 65th Coruscant Guard stormtroopers, and so his militia behind him are managing to get some good shots in. These guys over here ended up dying. We've got one trooper over here with, I think that gun is called an REBV, something like that. I can't remember exactly. It's a pretty niche Star Wars gun. I think Bosk carries one, though, I believe. Well, he has actually a few different weapons he uses, but I think in the scene where he is with Darth Vader on the ship and the other bounty hunters, I believe he is carrying that weapon. Don't quote me on that, though. We've got some other Kota militia out here also firing away, trying to protect their Jedi generals out this way, but I don't know if that's going to help them too much. The crossing is ongoing over this way. We've got multitudes of 65th Coruscant Guard moving on out. Kota's militia still getting good rocket shots out, although that one did whiff by quite a bit. I think it might have still gotten a couple kills, so I'm seeing some guns flying through the air there, so that might have still been effective. But this is where Kota's militia is going to start getting some real benefits to city fighting. They've got guerrilla warfare all throughout the halls of this city. They are going to be, I think, getting some crazy kills around every single corner here and potentially dwindling the enemy forces bit by bit through all of these different blockades and things like that. So that's the hope at the very least, although the stormtroopers are kind of messing with that plan by having so many different entrance points to the city. It makes flanking a lot more capable, and also if they manage to find a particular route that is, you know, far weaker, they can then funnel troops in that way. But right now, it seems like they're doing okay. We still got flankings going on over here. One big grenade would destroy everyone hiding out behind that speeder right there. Just throw a grenade, buddy. A little thermal detonator action, that's all you gotta do, but he does not seem interested in doing that. Instead, oh wait, okay, this could be actually massive. Throw it, throw it. I don't know why I'm rooting for them, but I just really wanted to see a big boom boom. It would have been BEA beautiful, baby. Maybe this guy, I don't think he will either, though. Yeah, he does have some backup, though. These guys are coming out in force over here to support. The Lats haven't really been firing much, so I think they're kind of out of range or out of targets that they can actually hit up there, since they are more of a static vehicle during this battle. These guys are all just dying over here. These are the main fighting force from the dockyards right now, I would say, and they're getting some decent fire out, so maybe they'll be able to do some more damage over this way. Over here, we've got rockets going out, and we've got shock troopers pushing in very, very heavily all over the place. Why don't we do a nice little overhead time lapse over here and watch them coming into the walls of the city. The pushing inland here has been slow but steady. They're killing Kota's troopers bit by bit, but also losing a number of troopers in the process. So this is going to be a slow move forward. Someone was eating their Chinese food over here with those boxes, and that's when all hell broke loose, baby. You hate to see it. Over this way, it looks like Kota is still alive. He survived the Sarlac. That's crazy. Wondering if any of these guys are walking around. Bro, I've literally seen men die from the Sarlac while testing this map, and these guys are just walking around it like it's nobody's business? Bro, what? Wait, straight up, I thought this killed people. What if we, like, have to... Oh, you have to touch the tentacles. See how this guy's gonna, like, evaporate or whatever? I guess you have to touch the tentacles, which does make sense, okay? But it also doesn't make sense that you can walk around the teeth of the Sarlac pit and be totally fine. It's odd. It's very odd, to say the least. But he's gonna get swallowed up by the Sarlac, and then I believe just his helmet will poop on out of there, right? He's still working on being pooped. He's still drowning in there, apparently. Okay, maybe they're not gonna poop the helmet out? Mayhaps not. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. That's so awesome. Iconic, really. So I guess you do have to touch the tentacles in order to be eaten by the Sarlac, and I don't know, maybe these guys will fall victim to it here. Nope. Oh, yes, this guy did. Look at that. Lovely. Okay, so the Sarlac actually coming into play and assisting Kota's militia. Always knew the Sarlacs were for the rebellion, bro. It was obvious. The second it took Boba, it was obvious. And we've got plenty of Kota's militia still back here. Kota and Kyle Katarn still somehow alive over here. So Kota must have just not touched the Sarlac. Oh, he just died. Oh, rip. Kyle Katarn runs forward to try and help him, but he's dead, man. Now he's going out this way. Alright, it might just be Kota's militia for the rest of this battle, as these guys are falling due to just constant stormtrooper fire here. It's got to be it, you know, it's just too much for them to take. Even their hero health and deflection ability, it just becomes too much. Let's watch some of these inner city streets defending against the oncoming stormtroopers out this way. None of these guys are really dying, to be honest. They're doing a great job out here. Now, let's go to the main fight over this way, where we've got a bunch of stormtroopers pressuring the inner city in all different areas. And just like we expected, Kota's troops are able to put them down with ease. If you look at the minimap at the top left here, blue are Kota's troops left alive, red are stormtroopers left alive. Stormtroopers still have a ton of troops around here on the edges, but there's still a lot pressuring everywhere. So even though these guys are at the edges, they're actually still firing a little bit, I've noticed. If they end up derping for too long, we will anti-derp rule them, but for now, they seem to be okay. Either way, we're getting 40 FPS, so I think we can go ahead and boost it up to normal speed now, which is perfect. These guys out here are making plays to kill the last of these guys that are kind of hiding behind a lot of this stuff. Big grenade right there for Kota's troopers. Yep, you gotta dodge those thermals. Look at that guy. He's flying. Now he's dead. Wow. What do you know? They did finally take these guys out. It looks like they did actually grenade them, but we have no idea when that happened. Save the green beans and the bay leaves. They got food stalls out here. You guys are the, you know, replenishing after getting famished from so much fighting. These guys over here are actually getting flanked from the back over this way, but not a major flank yet. This is still pretty minor at the moment. These guys over here, also pretty minor flank going on, trying to take out some of these guys, it appears. Over this way, yeah, there's no, like, major assault going on in any of these alleyways. It's just bits and bobs here and there, I would definitely say. They need to gear up a bit better. Over here is actually probably the largest assault going on currently over by the Sarlac pit. It looks like maybe a few more... yeah, maybe a couple more stormtroopers ended up dying in the Sarlac pit. Just not too many. It actually ended up being okay. It actually looks like more of Kota's free roamers died around here than stormtroopers, which is funny. I'm guessing they killed Kyle Katarn over it. Yep, they did. He's gone. RIP. So technically, Order 66 has been successful, because even though those guys were on free move mode, meaning they could retreat backwards during the battle, if need be, they still bit the dust. There's a side alley over here filled with free roaming Kota's militia troopers hitting and running. We love to see that, but they are also taking substantial losses. They could go hide in these little alleyways or retreat back to these static position troopers who are hiding behind a bunch of batteries? I don't know. Maybe that's ammo? I don't know what that is. But then they also have to deal with the front alleyway over this way, which is obviously very problematic as well. Let's actually see. Can we make it in normal speed here for the time being? And it looks like actually we can. It's not too horrible. We're getting 30 FPS, which I would say is very decent. That means a lot of both Kota's militia as well as the newly founded Stormtrooper army have died on the battlefield. The guys we were watching just earlier are dead over here now. There's just one alive over that way. But not to worry. there's still more back here that can get some grenades off, get some shots off, and defend. I've also got a bunch back this way, and then over here, we still have these guys from the dockyard pressuring over this way. A bunch of Kota's militia have died over here, so I don't think they'll be able to hold that forever, but once these guys kind of pivot around there, it'll be game on for them. There's still a lot of Kota's militia over here, too, and they have managed to kill a lot of these guys off of the dockyard area, and they're still thriving right now, so that's going to be a problem as well. These guys over here, still kind of chilling. Let's group them up, just to anti-derp rule them. If you group them up, it only takes the leader to move off of the position and actually attack, and the rest will just follow. And if that doesn't work later on, we will just go ahead and force them to actually attack instead of derping, because derping is boring, baby. Stormtroopers over this way getting slaughtered currently by Kota's boys. There's not too many of them left, so hopefully they go down fairly soon, but this is that guerrilla street-by-street fighting that gets really, really rough for the attacker, and it's really good for the defenders. Alright, over this way. Did you guys clear this alley? Nope, there's even more free roaming reinforcements coming around this way to help out. A lot of them facing this direction because it looks like a few stormtroopers are making gains on these alleyways over here. So that's forcing these guys to kind of pivot that way. But then they are still defending this way too. Actually, this is like where all of the free roamers ended up going and chilling after Kota died. Look at that. They're all bing chilling over this way. The stormtroopers, though, might move past that way. I'm not entirely sure if they'll continue the attack over here. We got one trooper getting a nice kill right there. And he's getting free shots in here because no one's actually guarding the doorway itself after that guy died. This guy comes out with a thermal, yeets it. That might be the end of that stormtrooper right there. He's getting shot. He can't run, and he is dead. And the free roamers get a cheeky little kill right there. But they might need to react to these guys over this way who are now pressuring their outside defenders. How are there still guys over here? Bruh! I feel like they should have died ages ago. Look, this guy could just literally peek the corner and end this man's whole career, but he ain't doing it. Because he's a coward! I don't know why he ain't doing it, honestly. He's just kind of dumb. He's a bit of a numbnuts. Come on, buddy. Pivot! Kill him! It's agonizing watching the AI sometimes be so unbelievably stupid. These guys chilling over here, just countering fire with that. These guys, it looks like, okay, some of them are actually starting to anti-derp, so that's perfect. It's a pretty tame way to do the anti-derp rule without just forcing them out, but it's sometimes necessary to just force them out of derpy situations. So those guys will come forward and reinforce the battlefield. These guys in particular need massive reinforcements. They have taken so many losses and gotten so few kills over here recently. It is brutal. But here comes the reinforcements. They're probably going to pivot either to the right or to the left. I would prefer they go to the right, but the left could also use some assistance here as this alleyway is getting torn up. Getting torn up over here. Got a bunch of troops just kind of funneled down this way, able to shoot those guys with ease. Oh, we've also got them able to shoot back here with ease too. Look at that. A little bit of a double whammy going on. Double attack. It's a very confusing battlefield with very kind of blurred lines going on. These guys getting flanked by the reinforcing anti-derp soldiers. And one of them has died. The other's still standing pretty tall, pretty proud. If you look at the minimap right now, blue are Rahm Kota's militia troopers, and red are stormtrooper clone troopers still alive on the battlefield. We've got major assaults going on in multiple different places right now, but the defenders are going crazy. This guy's got 8 kills. This guy's got 8 as well. This guy's got 14. Holy cow. This trooper over here has none. This guy has none. This guy has 4, this guy has 1, this guy has none. This trooper has 3, this guy's got none, this guy's got none. Okay, copy that. Let's check out, okay, here are the free roamers still holding their position there. They're gonna be hard to tell how many kills they got. They finally killed that guy. Good job. Way to go. And none of these guys really look like they have a ton of kills or anything like that. Maybe back down here we have a few guys with some serious kills. This guy's got none, this guy's got none, this guy's got none. It's probably these guys. This guy's got 4. This guy's got 17. This guy's got 8. This guy's got 1. This guy's got 1. This guy's got 3. This guy's got 6. Yeah, these guys are going crazy. This guy's got 6, and this guy's got none right there. So yeah, these guys have been going pretty hard in the paint over that way. And this assault continues on. We've got grenades going up against Rahm Kota's militia out here, but they rebound right back into place after running from the explosion, and they continue to get kills on these stormtroopers over here. Absolutely nutty. Got more explosions going on over this way, but it looks like it's against the stormtroopers, and these 3 dudes right here continue to pour some fire out, getting more kills, and then grenading when need be. Look at this! He's got another That's gonna be huge! Oh no! Oh my goodness! Wow, they might have died, but they got way more kills than I ever would have thought right there, just from that one singular grenade. Absolutely insane. We got an EE3 over here spamming fire out against some enemy stormtroopers, getting a few kills for that guy too. My goodness. This battle is brutal. This might as well be the Vietnam of Star Wars. Well, I guess that's usually Fallujah, right? Alright. This is brutal. Let's see, we got shots coming in over here as some free roaming Kota troopers reinforce these alleyways over here and start to try and move against some of these stormtroopers. Big mistake, even though you guys are making big things happen on this battlefield in your defense. The enemy is still very powerful, and they've still got you locked down in a pretty brutal city siege here, so I think that was a bit brazen of them. Over here, we're still chilling. Over here, we're still chilling. Oh, did someone move right then? Yeah, sad. I wish we'd seen that. Rip. All right, let's check minimap, see where the major points of conflict are. It is kind of over here, but then also we've got major points of conflict over here and down here as these Kota troopers continue just a absolutely brutal defense. But there's flanks going on over here, so that could result in some death for sure. These guys back here, oh, that guy... He so easily could have gotten some serious Kota kills against these guys, but he just chose to not, apparently. I feel like that would have been massive. These guys over here pushing inward as well against these guys, trying to run another flank route. There's so many flanks for these guys to potentially accomplish, but they just can't manage to do any of them. It's just not possible. They're just getting walloped left and right. Let's do a little overhead time lapse over here because we got firing over here, firing down here, firing over here. Militia everywhere. Let's go. Okay, down over this way, stormtroopers continue to die and get absolutely obliterated. But over here, looks like we do have some gains down this alleyway. A few of these troops over this way have died, more going down as well. So that might be promising for the stormtroopers. Over here, these fellas look like they finally got grenaded out, but there's still troops waiting in the wings for the next assault in case it ever comes, including over here where, oof, some grenade warfare going down against the stormtroopers. Grenades coming in clutch all throughout this entire battle, man, and preventing the stormtroopers from really advancing with their full force and blitzkrieging in. Let's look at the minimap. Red are clone trooper storm. What are you doing? These free roamers, man, they're getting maybe too ballsy. Yeah, that was stupid. That was really stupid. Look at that. Oh! That stormtrooper! Almost the goat, but he throws the grenade into the wall, killing both him and his comrade. Man, that would have been great if he had managed to pull that off, but decided to throw that in the stupidest way he could have in that situation. So the free roamers for Kota are starting to kind of be freed, I would say, right now. There is still apparently, oh, right over here, there's still a few stormtroopers over that way, but once these free roamers get free of this whole area, which they're pretty close to, there is a squad of stormtroopers coming out here though, then they might be able to go and assist some of the other alleyways, which are still having some intense fighting. There's so much fighting all over the place. I feel like we're always missing like cool grenades and cool kill shots and things like that. It's just such a large city siege map that there's so much going on pretty much everywhere all at once. It's brutal. Down this way, though, back again, we do have a pretty large attack from some stormtroopers over here, managing to eliminate some of these free roamers. We got Gonk and the medical droid over here, baby! Lord Gonk back at it again! And these guys over here are retreating back into the shadows. That hit and run tactic for Kota's militia really doing big things on this battlefield for him. Grenade going out. And it does whiff right there, but I like the gusto. I like the attempt right over that way. Let's check back in over here. These guys pushing through fully now, and there's a lot of boys waiting for them over here, waiting to just clap these stormtroopers when they come around this way. This is like a firing squad right now, my goodness. And there you go, one of them dies right there. There's still another firing out at them, but they should be able to pick him off fairly easily as well. Back over here, these guys still in kind of a stalemate. All the troops over here are dead. There's still some in this little nook over here. But the fact that they haven't been able to push through here and kill these guys is rather abysmal, I would say. Oh. What are you doing? What are you doing? Buddy. Hey. Why is this guy just chilling? The AI do be so stupid sometimes, man. It's redonkulous. Alright, and then we got stormtroopers over here firing at those guys while this guy's firing at those guys. There's just crossfire everywhere, and no one's managing to accomplish anything, which is the most frustrating part of this. That trooper tries crawling over the bodies and gets shot before he makes it anywhere. This guy over here dies as well, preventing that attack. But then we've got these guys still firing over this way, and then not far away, we've got these guys still laying siege to these Kota troopers over here who are chilling. And over here, this is really winding down. Not many stormtroopers left alive over this way. Free roamers still over this way, big chillin'. And these guys, I think, are about to walk into a little trap over here. Oh. Yep, there's one down. There's two. There's three. There's one trooper left. Just chill in that chair, eat some Chinese food, and vibe, my guy. You do not need to run into that, but he definitely will eventually. Let's see. Yeah, this is maybe the biggest area still filled with stormtroopers. Over here is getting hot again. And you got that nice crossfire. This is like maybe the only stormtrooper hope, I would say, currently. Because there's so many different angles for this fight to be going on over here, it's getting rough for Kota's troopers to hold out. But then once the stormtroopers go deeper into the city, that's when they start to really lose more and more soldiers. So I'm not sure if that's actually going to be a viable play for them. I think the stormtroopers are just going to lose this battle overall at this point. But they did manage to execute Order 66 successfully. It's more about just crushing the rest of the rebels at this point, since Kota and Kyle Katarn are dead. Alright, these guys over here are now getting squeezed as that trooper ends up dying who was covering the top flank over there. So now these guys have to cover the bottom all on their lonesome. A couple more Kota troopers die outside there. This is going to be a rough one. I don't know if these guys are going to survive this one. It is still slow going though. This entire battle is now slow going. All that serious action is over. Why don't we go ahead and watch the time lapse over here. Ooh, stormtroopers make big plays and manage to crush that little defense pretty quickly, and then blitzing through the rest of this. Alright, Kota's troops in actually a little bit of trouble here. Okay, they still have... Okay, that guy's dead now. Now they need to push in this way, and they have two routes to go. This route and this route over here. These guys might go down fairly easily because there's not too many of them, but it's the further positions back that are going to be a little bit heavier defended. Yep, those guys go down pretty quick. Right here, a little bit of an ambush, but they only managed to kill one stormtrooper, and the grenade takes care of the rest of them there. Yeah, this is where I'm talking about, where that is going to become a much harder assault, but they've still got a little ways before they get there. These guys crawling around. There's no resistance here except for... Then there's going to be 3 troops over here waiting to ambush, which will be quite interesting. This guy's only got a pistol because he's normally a rocket trooper, so that does not work for him. A quick grenade here from the stormtroopers is going to eliminate those guys. Yikes. But here we go. Here's the bigger defense over this way. We are getting some action now as things end up heating up across this part of the battlefield. We've got plenty of shots going on right now. It's beautiful. It's BEA. Beautiful, baby. The Kota troopers managed to start getting a few more kills out here. Stormtroopers now have to fight at a bit more of a distance. Grenades aren't going to help them as much right now. And there's a lot more Kota troopers back here actually able to fire. I stand corrected. A grenade helps the Stormtroopers quite significantly right there. There's more Kota troopers back here, by the way, too. So it's going to be some very good crossfire. We've also got even more back there. So this is a very dense portion of the battlefield. where Kota's troops might actually be able to put a stop to this little stormtrooper assault that is wreaking so much havoc on them right now. If we look at the mini-map at the top left, this is really it. There's a few random stormtroopers throughout the battlefield left alive, but this is the majority of the force. Maybe 20 or 30 stormtroopers will be pushing this final defense of the city siege during Order 66. It's going to be a toughie for sure, though. Let's see. Okay, massive pushes from the right side over here. Look at that. Plenty of stormtroopers coming in. And on the left right now, getting some good shots in. But you know what? Kota's boys, they're managing to clean up. They're managing to hold these guys back and prevent them from completely bursting through or anything along those lines. They're doing a good job. Let's go ahead and time-lapse this for a bit. Stormtroopers make another alleyway gain here and are now cruising through this way. This is actually kind of staggering. They're making big progress. Look at the minimap, dude. They're actually like doing it, kind of, which is goofy that this is happening now. But I guess you gotta rise and grind, baby. It's all about the grind, the grussel. This trooper here could end their whole career, though. He's got a very good spot. He could easily get some serious kills against these stormtroopers. He's got backup fire from over that way. You know, that is a big position. Big position where he could potentially lock this down. Our boy died, but he did do some good there. His friend back there also dead on the ground. And now it's just these troopers. The rest of the stormtroopers are all kind of scattered. I'll group them up so they'll come in, but yeah, they're probably donezo. We got one over here. He chilling. There's shots over this way. Yeah, they're gonna try and make one final push, but it's pretty much over, I think. Alright, that just about does it right there, with honestly only about a block and a half of these Kota militia still alive. Only like 20 or 30 of them. The stormtroopers kind of started to clutch it up there at the end. Red are dead stormtroopers, yellow are dead Kota's militia troopers, and while the Order 66 was successful, Kota's militia is going to continue to fight on. Yeah, this was a pretty impressive battle from the stormtroopers after almost losing there. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.